In 4 episodes, this show has done more than probably a lot of shows will do over 12 episodes this anime season. And simultaneously, I look at it and say, that actually all makes sense. The general path that they're going for with this show. And then on the other hand, I'm left feeling like I know literally nothing about this show. One of the most baffling, confusing, yet enticing series that I've seen this year. So we do defeat Vanessa this episode. We actually eliminate the hero of the demons. Meaning, this is where a lot of shows would top it off. Say, okay, all's well that ends well. We actually know a lot more now. If it wasn't clear that they were trying to apply it last week, it's 100% clear here. This is the same world. It is just the same world rewritten. And what they're implying after Vanessa's seemingly memories were unlocked after her dying moments and she started remembering Sid and everything, is that basically one of the other heroes of the, because we're in the war of the 5 races, right? Demon side's been destroyed, we're on humanity's side. There's 3 left, and one of them is most likely behind this whole ordeal occurring. So, by progressing through the story of taking care of the heroes, we hopefully will find the person responsible. All makes sense. But by episode 4, to feel like we went through an entire story, that every step of the way it had me saying, what the fuck? How is that? Okay, I guess that kind of makes sense. I feel like I know as much as it continuously brings up. Like, I said it last week, I probably said it the previous week as well. For every time we get an answer to a question, 2 more get brought up. But it feels like we know a lot more by the end of this episode, but it still has me saying, what the hell are we even watching, and when can I have the next episode? Now, I do have full live reactions over on Patreon. If you want to see my full thought to any of these episodes, it's over there exclusively. Absolutely loving this show, one of my personal favorites of this season. Like I said last week, this is the 86 vibe for me of just like being zoned in, saying I need more of this world, need more of these characters. And honestly, I hope I'm not alone, because how many times in these moments where it looks like, okay, character's about to get killed, right? So whether that's Kai getting slammed into the wall, I'm like, no, he'll bounce back, or a girl who's transformed into every literal version of all 5 races, right? I'm thinking, I didn't even think Vanessa would die, because by the looks of her, right, like, her character design would sell light novel covers. So you're going to keep her around, because she'll clearly be a fan favorite. So every time things were being built up to, like, a finishing blow, I thought to myself, no, they're not actually going to do it. So when they actually committed to the slice, and then we get this, like, reveal of her. There's been a lot of WTF moments, but when it was revealed that Vanessa worked with Sid to hide the sword, I'm like, excuse me? There's a lot of things that I'm probably willing to expect, but that was very much on the bottom of the list. This is fascinating because we enter this show with the argument, is it an alternate reality or is it the same world rewritten? Like I said at the start of the show, I thought it was the same world rewritten. And then over the course of the next couple of episodes, it kind of made me say, okay, maybe I guess I'm just wrong. But the concept of like, okay, we were good. And usually in a show like this, it would be the demons that would probably do the rewriting, right? Because, like, especially because we had the hero Sid, right? The hero Sid working with, seemingly the demon's hero. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So one of the other 3 races, probably being upset that they're lower and the war wasn't going according to plan, taps into some taboo, unique, forbidden magic and rewrites the course of history. But seemingly, the person who got dealt the worst hand was on the human side. So it has to be an issue with, like, humanity was doing too good and that was the issue. But it's interesting because Sid apparently foresaw a lot of this happening and prepared ahead of time, which is why the sword got hidden. But then you have the question of, okay, but why are these 2 the only ones who didn't have their memories altered? Now, we know the original memories are still there, right? Because in the 2nd episode, I think it was, there's a lot of little moments like, when Kai asked the one dude for the keys to the car, he just instinctively throws the keys. And then afterwards, he's like, why the hell would I give keys to someone without even asking where he's going for someone I just met? There's all these, like, clues, or, like, the fact that, very much, like, certain memories seemingly are seeping through. But the only ones who have their full memory still unlocked are our central two characters. One of which is basically a combination of all the races in one, who is chained away. And then, of course, there's Kai, who is destined seemingly to get the sword. Now, I still think Sid is a different person than Kai, but I don't know. It's like I said last week, like, it's very rare to be so confused about where a show actually wants to go. But I am starting to understand why this is a shorter series, like, not something that lasts dozens upon dozens of novels, because it actually makes sense. Like, I'm not saying I expect the next race to be defeated in 4 episodes like this. It could be 8 episodes, 12 episodes, I don't know. But the path makes sense while also being so freaking confusing all at the same time. Now, there was definitely an unexpected character moment for me this episode, which was when it looks like our boy gets hurt. Now, they are under the assumption he died. I didn't think he died there. I was like, okay, it's not looking good, but he's gonna be fine. It's when she basically Hulk smashes and she gets into her rage emotion, and then Vanessa's like, if you would have done this right away, he would have still been alive, this, that, and the third, just getting under her skin. But I like the idea that there's very clearly, like, she's been pushed away from, like, imagine being technically part of 5 different races, and every race considers you a freak. That's obviously going to eat away at you. Hell, she was literally chained up and imprisoned away from all living life. So the idea that someone like Kai, who is clearly the first person who's probably treated her as well as he has, to not want to show your true form, even though her true form, for probably the anime, collectively as a community, looks beautiful, if not badass and cool. For her, it's disfigured, it's a monster, right? So not wanting to show that, and then obviously having the guilt that if he would have done that earlier, he probably would have been hurt or killed, it's going to eat away at you. And I really liked what they did with that moment overall. There's definitely some more stiff moments in this episode animation-wise, but in general, like the flames and the different magical attacks and stuff, were definitely very well done as per usual for what we've seen in the show. But this show was not what I expected, both visually, narratively, character-wise. Like, there's so much to it. And it feels like by the end of episode 4, I experienced a whole ass story, and now I'm going into the sequel, and my mind hurts when I think about this show, because on one hand, I feel like I understand completely where this is going, and on the other hand, I feel like Truck-kun repeatedly hits me, reverses, drives over me again, throws gasoline on me, lights a cigarette, and flicks that bitch back as it gives me the finger and drives away. And it has me saying, give me the next episode. Let me know what you thought down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new around here. Of course, ring that bell. And like I mentioned, we got those full live reactions over on Patreon. And hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alrighty, so today we have Big Man, Gruntmaster 1, Roger Powell, Canadian Me, and we also have Niku. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and y'all have a good one.